Please, where'd you get that?
Welcome back to Mr. Alex Movie Review. Today we're going to be checking out Wicked for Good. Now let's start off with some of the positives. I really liked the ending of this. I know it's the beginning of the review. I'm talking about the ending, but I thought it had a much happier ending than the Broadway show. And I just really like the ending of it. So there are two original songs that are not featured in the Broadway version. No Place Like Home and The Girl in the Bubble. No Place Like Home was a good song, but I felt that it was an alright song, not the best. The Girl in the Bubble, I really liked it and wouldn't mind seeing it added on to the Broadway show. The transition of characters like the Tin Woodman and the Lion were hard to watch, specifically the Tin Woodman and all of the stuff. Like, it's a really captivating scene. I also really liked how I felt like Glinda was more developed in this movie than the first one. Glinda's wedding was also really hard to watch. It's a beautiful set piece. Like, there are butterflies on the ground. It's an amazing set piece. It actually makes me want to get the Lego set for that. It's only like $30. But it was a really hard thing to watch at the very end, and it actually made me change my mind on two of the characters completely by the end of that wedding scene. And my favorite songs were As Long As You're Mine, For Good, The Girl in the Bubble, and Thank Goodness. Now, some content to consider is the Broadway problem, and I'm sure you've heard this. Act 1 of Broadway is Wicked, and then Act 2 of Broadway is Wicked for Good, the movie that I'm reviewing today. And many people like the first act way better. It has the better songs, the better plot, and then the second act in the Broadway show typically people don't like as much, and that is what we're reviewing today, technically the second act, or Wicked for Good. Now, I went to the theater with about 14 people, and one person out of the 14 thought the second one was better, and then one person thought that both of them were about the same. Everybody else liked Wicked Part 1 better. Now, that's not to say nobody hated this movie. We all liked it. We all thought it was enjoyable. But many people just liked the original Wicked. So don't go in expecting the same type of Wicked. It's a very different type of movie, but still very fun. As for language, there's like two misusages of the Lord's name, specifically Lord. And then there's some in-universe cussing. For instance, oh, shiz is said a lot, and you can kind of guess what that's paralleling in our universe. But shiz is the name of the school that they go to from Part 1. And then Wicked Part 1 had some cross-dressing in this movie right here. So I was on the lookout, but in my one watch-through of Wicked for Good, I did not see any cross-dressing. Not to say it's not there. I just didn't see it in the first one. Obviously, this does have spells and stuff because it's about two witches. As for sexuality, at the beginning of Wicked Part 1, this movie right here, there is a scene where a man and a woman are having an affair, and there is a very short flashback to that scene at the end of Wicked for Good. It's not as long as the other one, but there is just a short flashback, so that is something to be aware of. Wicked Part 1, there's also a male character who is more effeminate. And then there's also a scene that many reviewers are talking about, and I was warned before going in to the theater that there is a steamy scene between Fiyero and Elphaba. So Fiyero and Elphaba are singing As Long As You're Mine.
Somehow I fall under your spell.
And then they're kind of like going up in the air, and then they have a kiss, and then it kind of cuts to a black screen, and then it goes to the next day, like it fades back into the next day, and then Fiyero has his shirt off, so there is a big implication that they did sleep together. As I said before, the wedding scene was very hard to watch. Wicked Part 2 has some great ideas on what it truly means to be good versus wicked, and after the movie, my family actually had a really good talk on what it means to be good versus evil, and also why we shouldn't just blindly trust our political leaders. Now, if you watched my first review on Wicked, I gave Wicked a 9.5 out of 10. I really found it enjoyable. I also really like musicals. I'm a theater kid at heart. So I would say I didn't like Wicked for Good quite as much as Wicked, but I did still really like it, and I would probably give it an 8 out of 10. If you like Christian movie reviews, please consider subscribing down below, and I will see you in the next video.
Bring me the broom of the Wicked Witch of the West.